Yo, what's up, guys? This is D Brown with Trackheads. I'd like to welcome to the episode of Trackheads. So, today we're going to be discussing the 5 reasons why the 400-meter dash is so important to sprinters this year, especially now that it's 2025. We're looking at, a very long season, and we're just going to break down, again, the 5 reasons why you see a lot of your favorite 100, 200-meter sprinters running the 400-meter dash this year. This goes along the lines of Dina Asher-Smith. We're talking about Julian Alfred. We're talking about Noah Lyles. We're talking about Kerley. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. So we're going to talk about the 5 reasons why they are running the 400-meter dash this year. So let me see. First things first is that this year is going to be a very long season. In case you guys don't know, the World Championships this year is in 2025. It's in Tokyo, Japan. I don't know the exact day, but it's somewhere in September. So if you started your season, like a lot of track and field athletes, if you started your season in, let's say, November, December, like the average college athlete, maybe a little bit earlier, like September when you got on campus, we're talking about a 12-month season. This is a very, very long season. And unlike distance runners where they run a bunch of mileage to have a really strong conditioning part of the season, sprinters can't do that. If you look into energy systems and stuff like that, I don't want to get deep into the science, but if you look into how a sprinter really truly develops a base, is usually in the same kind of workouts that you would give a 400-meter runner. We're not talking about, long runs. We're not talking about 600s. We're talking about just things like that build up that capacity to be able to handle more work. So again, we're talking about extending their season. They're going to be having to peak in September. And when you think about, being able to maintain your peak and being able to run fast for, long months and stretches of time, you have to be able to have a strong base to do that. So that would be the main reason. Like I said, you see Dina Asher-Smith, she's running her, second or third 400. She ran a bunch of 300 meters indoor 400s. You see Julian Alfred, she ran her 300 against Sharika Jackson. There's a bunch of sprinters out there. Noah Lyles, he ran the open 400. You see Fred Kerley, he opened up in a 400 after like 3 or 4 years. A lot of these sprinters, they're really having to condition their bodies properly to be able to handle the long season. So that would be the main reason there. The World Championships is going to be in 2025 of September. So it's just very important that they don't beat their bodies up so much so that they can help to extend their season. The second reason would be that a lot of these athletes are doubling, right? Like I said, all those 4 athletes I just mentioned, Noah Lyles, Fred Kerley, Julian Alfred, and Dina Asher-Smith, just to say a few, even like the likes of Sharika Jackson, a lot of these athletes are doubling this year. They're running the 100 and the 200. In order to be able to handle all the rounds of the 100, 200, 4x1, and possibly options for the 4x4, but 9 times out of 10, just the 1, 2, and 4x1, they have to be able to handle the rounds after rounds after rounds after rounds after rounds. And part of the reason for doing that is to have a very strong base of 400-meter dashes. Okay, being able for your body to handle the turnover, being able for your body to handle the repeat 200s. We all saw what that Botswanan athlete Tobogo, right? He's another 1-2 double. We saw what he was able to do last year when he set all those records in the 300 and 400-meter dashes. And when it was time for him to take on Noah Lyles in the later part of his 200-meter dash for the Olympic Games, you saw what he was able to do because his base seems to be so much bigger than Noah Lyles, so he was able to handle the multiple rounds of 100s, 200s, and even the 4x4 and still, produce high bouts of performances, whereas Noah Lyles is maybe suffering a little bit. So that's just an example of, again, you're talking about these 1-2 athletes, 100, 200-meter athletes trying to double and maintain high performances throughout a championship. The 400-meter dash helps you do that because it feeds that energy system to help with your strength all the way through the rounds. Number 3 reason I would have to say is that it's a lot less toll on the body. I think a lot of people underestimate how much toll it is to sprint full speed, to train for the 60, to train for the 100-meter dash. A lot of times, sprinters, they just sprint year round, and it really beats up the body, and they don't have the ability to be able to maintain that peak or maintain that form without a hamstring issue or a quad issue or a groin issue, hip flexor issue, calf issue or knee issues, Achilles issues, and big toe. I mean, all these little niggles and naggles come out the blue because they're putting so much stress on the engine, where if we just kind of slow it down a little bit, right? Not to say we're slowing it down for long periods of time, but if if you devote time to a cycle or two of maybe more base work, right? Base work being more 400 meter specific kind of work to maybe increase your capacity for work when it's time to go back to the sprinting. That may help you to become a much better sprinter, a much more robust sprinter that doesn't get injured often because you're not putting high bouts of force and velocity inside the ground, and then when it goes back into you, your body just doesn't know how to handle it. So again, you do have your 60 specialists, but in the nutshell, I think the 400 definitely puts less toll on your body, because you're not putting as much force into the ground when you're actually running some of these longer runs. So that will have to be number 3. Number 4, I would have to say, is that a lot of people don't realize we just had the Olympic Games last year, right? We had it in Paris. It was a fantastic Olympic Games, especially for track and field. And we had so many dope performances. But for a lot of these guys, their peak basically started from 2020, 2021 Olympics, and it finished in 2024 Olympics. So now we're starting a new cycle, which is a build up to LA 2028. Right, so we're having the Tokyo, Japan 2025, whatever's in 2026, 2027, and 2028. So for a lot of these sprinters, they have to reload their body. Now, this is when we start thinking about sprinting and how coaches come up with their year cycles, not just in 1, 2, 3 year cycles. They're really starting the campaign of strength from the first year and maybe devoting the whole year to strength, and then basically peaking for 2028 to enable them to do great things when it's time for their moment to come in LA 2028. So a lot of athletes are reloading their bodies to handle the long trek that's required to be able to sustain their bodies all the way to LA. So if you hear like the likes of Noah Lyles or even like Tobogo or Fred Kerley, and they're saying, hey, we're looking to go win a gold medal and do all these things, the 400 is definitely something that they are looking towards to help extend them that way, because like I said, it helps them with strength going towards throughout the whole year. So that would have to be number 4. And last but not least, guys, the 400 just makes you a better all-around sprinter. I think a lot of people underestimate. They get caught up in acceleration. They get caught up in top-end speed. They get caught up in transition. They get caught up in all these, supremely complicated or uncomplicated verbiage when it comes to the 100-meter dash. And sometimes, aside from who is able to run the fastest, it's also about who's the most versatile sprinter. Again, all the sprinters that I mentioned, all the way from Julian Alfred to Dina Asher-Smith to Fred Kerley to Noah Lyles to Lasile Tobogo to, you can name any sprinter out there. If you look at some of the best 100 and 200 meter runners, Gabby Thomas, she's entering the conversation. She just popped a 49.1. If you look at some of these sprinters and their ability to be great for long periods of time, it's not just their ability to be a great 100 meter sprinter. You have to be great at all 3. You have to dabble in all 3. Johan Blake, he's a good example. He's a great 100. He's number 2 all time in the 100, number 2 all time in the 200. But he also ran 46 seconds, or even dabbled in like high 45 maybe. I know 46 seconds, probably 46.1 is his PR in the 400 meter dash when he was at his peak, right? That's no coincidence that he's able to have a quality 400. Maybe not in relative to his 100, 200, but he still ran the 400 to help him be able to do the things he was able to do in the 100 and 200. Usain Bolt, he ran quality 400s, 45 when he was a teen, and 45 throughout his career. So again, is it something that they're going to be running all season? No. Is it something that they're going to be running once a year? Probably not. And maybe a year, every 2 years. Usain Bolt had a cycle where he ran almost every 2 years. He didn't really run it every single year. So those, in my opinion, are the 5 reasons why it's very important for 100 and 200 meter sprinters to not just dabble, but really just spend a small, I would just say spend a quality amount of time just working on their strengths and working on their strength in terms of the 400-meter dash, but also working on their weaknesses, which if you're a 100, 200-meter sprinter, could be the fact that you can't, sustain your strength throughout the 200 or any of those things that the 400-meter helps. So that's just my 2 cents about the things that, about how the 400 can help the 100, 200-meter athletes. Put your thoughts below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think that there are some more things that the 400-meter dash improves on? I have my personal stories about how the 400-meter dash was able to help improve me in terms of my 100 and 200, and just the importance that I incorporate even with my athletes when I train them. So, yeah, if you have any feedback or you have any comments, concerns, put it in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And like I said, guys, this is D Brown with Trackheads. I want to thank you guys for watching. Peace.